everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Brofessor and Friends. Thank y'all for being here with us. I've got a couple friends on here with me tonight that spent a little time with, either in person or on the airwaves. So we're going to talk tonight, continuing our series on Overland 101. Last week, we talked about packing and how we pack and different things like that. And we're going to continue to talk to newbies and seasoned veterans alike. And one thing I wanted to visit with, actually, I made the mistake. Last week we talked about building your rig. I had Jason Harris over here and the guys from Re-Rover. So we had the battle of the bigs, the Land Rover versus Toyota. And, man, it was good. It was really good. Very informative. Got more views than any show that Overland Radio has ever done. So we're going to try to beat that tonight because I have got some big guns with me tonight. Big guns. And hope everybody's tuning in, joining us out there. I have got Jeremiah from Overland Pioneers and Jeff from Badak Adventure Company. Welcome, guys. Appreciate you being here with me.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah. I've had Jeff on the podcast before. Last summer, he took his family on remind me, Jeff, it was like 26 states or 13 weeks or what was it?
We did, man.
I think it was 13 weeks. And
7 weeks, 8,000 miles,
Yep.
and we hit 13 states.
You know, I'm not good with numbers, but I appreciate you remembering that for me and refreshing my memory. But that was impressive to me with like 9 kids and 4 dogs and a wife and a couple vehicles. You know, I don't think it was that many kids, but it looked like it because there was a bunch of kids in that picture.
They're all over the place. Just 3 of them.
3 kids, 2 dogs. You took 2 vehicles, but you took your trailer that you had built.
Yeah. That was a shakedown run.
Yeah, that was its inaugural trip out there.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty cool. Well, tonight I wanted to visit with you guys because you guys talk about I want to talk about overlanding with a trailer. Now, I started out with just a vehicle, as most people do, and a couple of years ago, actually, it was not 2019, January 2019, I went and drew on a napkin a picture of a trailer that I wanted and gave it to my buddy who is over the welding shop at the high school. And so he had his guys. I started out with a 1946 M100 trailer axle is the only thing I had. And I drew it out on a napkin, and I said, I want it to look like this. I want this to be here. I want this to be here. And let me tell you, 5 months later, boom, there it was. And I've still got it, still run it. It's built like a tank. And, you know, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's effective. And so I love it. And I want everybody out there to think about what it's like with a trailer. So, Jeremiah, I want to start with you. Why overland with a trailer?
Well, for one, I love the idea of a base camp. For us, we started with a 2-door JK, so the room was needed. And with that, we needed a smaller trailer because the weight. We can only pull so much weight to begin with. So our first event was at the core event, Q&A Overland Adventure Retreat, where we met Tim from X Venture. At the time, I was planning on buying a Smitty-built Scout trailer, just because they were smaller, they were lighter, and I could pull it with my 2-door.
Right.
Conversation ensued, and then we started working with them later in the year, and come to find out that the trailer we pull now is all aluminum and 800 pounds bare. So, you know, we're still staying small on that weight, but, you know, we added a full truck bed behind us, essentially.
Right.
With a big front box. So having all that extra cargo room, we moved the tent off the top of our 2-door JK on a little exoskeleton thing to the trailer. We moved our Snowmaster refrigerator from the back of our Jeep, which took up 900% of the Jeep, to the trailer. And we instantly were able to drop that stuff and go wheel everywhere, and just get out further and carry extra fuel. It has a water tank on it. So having the advantages of just a plug and play system where we can also leave it fully stocked. And when we're ready to go out and explore, I'm sure he'll say the same thing, is you can leave your bedding in it. You can leave everything in it and you just hook up and go.
Yeah.
You can pre-pack it and pre-plan it throughout the week and not even have to worry about, rushing to get your own vehicle packed to go somewhere. It's there. And back to the base camp thing, you just drop it and go.
One of the things you said on there that is a huge advantage for people that like to run trails is you took your tent off the top of the Jeep, all that heavy weight that's on top, and you put it on the trailer, which was at your base camp. That makes a huge difference if you're in a short, jacked up vehicle.
Absolutely. Center of gravity. Yeah, you lower the center of gravity instantly. So when we moved to the Gladiator, we still found that, having our back seats opened, I now have the truck bed, which I can now, I bought an electric dirt bike, which you saw everybody steal and drive around the Moore Expo from me. I can now add that to the back of the Gladiator. I can now throw extra electronics and other things in the back. I'm going to put a bed rack on there soon. So just be able to carry my 2-seat inflatable whitewater kayak and leave it inflated instead of have to deflate it every time. Mm-hmm. The trailer just leaves so much more room for activities.
Excellent. Jeff, same question. Why Overland with a trailer?
Because I travel with the family.
Hey, that's part of it, man. That's part of it. There's a lot of people out there who like you, have small children. And
we started that up, right? So we started out. I had a Grand Cherokee, rooftop tent on top of it. Did some trips. Me and the wife and our first daughter, taking the dog along with us, Lab at that point. And that was great. But then when you think about it, if you want to take one vehicle and 3 kids and 2 dogs, where do you put everything else? It's like one vehicle, that's everyone, right? Mm. So from there, it was like, well, we need something else. I think a trailer. Let's look into a trailer. So first I had was actually a Quantum Leap ASV, real small company. It was super lightweight. I want to say it was ASV 750 or something like that. Weighed 750 pounds. Did a pop top flip over, like an open box. Had enough room to stand in it, room for all of us to sleep in. Had a huge front storage area that you could use when you weren't set up. So we used that for a while. Then I kind of decided, hey, let's try to do something where we don't have to set it up every time. Lessen the setup when you get to camp. And so that's where like Teardrop came in, right? Get to where you're going, everything's already in its space. Like you said, the fridge, you can load the fridge middle of the week, put stuff in there, go camp. Heck, when you come back, take it out of the fridge if you didn't use it. Put it back in the fridge of the house. Stuff like that. Moving into a trailer, just have that space. And of course, the base camp is, like I said, always a good solution. There's only a couple times I've come across where base camp, like wanting to go specifically Alpine Loop, right? If you want to go from Lake City over to Silverton, they want you to go around. You're not supposed to pull your trailer over the pass. Yeah, it's definitely doable. I've done it, but I was later told you're not supposed to do that. So now I don't. Heck, question down here from Adam, right? Worry about somebody stealing your trailer? We camped just out like 12 miles from Rushmore this summer. And we went out to the Badlands, went to Rushmore. We left the trailer sitting there. I was kind of concerned, but I've got the hitch lock on the wheel and tire, through the axle and the stuff. So if somebody's going to take it, really want to come back there, make sure you're not around, and run off with it. So
if someone's going to steal your stuff, they're gonna steal it from your driveway out there. We even have a battery system in the front box that's lockable. We have a car tracker. It's a
nice.
It's a $23 a month car tracker that you can turn on and off the subscription. It's like the Garmin InReach Mini. You can turn off when you're not going on a trip for that month, turn off the subscription, turn back on. So they're not going to just pull it where there's no cell phone service. Eventually they're going to go through cell phone service. I'm going to get my trailer back. We have the pitch and roll, I guess, is it the pitch and roll?
Lock and roll.
Thank you. 360-degree hitch, and not many people have that. And to be able to pull that trailer, you have to have that set up. Plus, we have trailer brakes that we can lock into place on our trailer. So there are multiple ways. Again, if someone wants your stuff, they're going to get it.
I've got the lock and roll on mine, and I actually went a step further and had them do a receiver on the trailer, so I can actually take the lock and roll completely out. So the chances of somebody having a lock and roll are slim. The chances of somebody having a receiver of any kind is very slim. And so I can take it out and I can stick the pin back through there. So you're actually only, even if you have a receiver, you're actually only able to stick it in about 2 or 3 inches, and it won't catch on anything. So we went the extra step and did that on that, because I know a guy here in town, and I won't mention his name because somebody will go over there and do it, who just leaves his trailer with the lock and roll, doesn't even lock it, because the chances of somebody having one to take it are. But he doesn't know that I have one. I thought about going over there and moving it sometime.
Just move it around the corner.
Yeah, just move it around.
Somebody having one to take it that's not a jerk.
Yeah. I try not to be a jerk, so I've left it alone. But one thing for me, and I don't travel with kids. I have a dog. My dog's a lot bigger than Jeremiah's. So, it's
not hard to do.
Bruiser is a 60-pound bulldog. But I have a really small vehicle. And so once you put drawers and a fridge and all the stuff that you're taking, your clothes and stuff, everything gets really crowded. So that was one of the reasons that we wanted a trailer, was space issues. And plus, I'm like you, Jeremiah, I love the base camp. And, when we went out to the Silverton area, Ouray area, we camped at Ironton Park, which that's funny they call it a park because it's just open field. And we pulled in there, set everything up, and then we would go out and come back, go out and come back. Now, I know not all places are like that. That's pretty much the trail mecca of where everybody wants to go. That's where Black Bear Pass is, and Imogene Pass, and California Pass, and you name all the passes, they're pretty much there. But we never one time worried about anybody coming and stealing our stuff. It's almost like people have a little bit of respect. Now, I know that some places that you go, there's always turds in every crowd.
Always going to have it, man.
And you've got to, you don't want to leave your Yeti cooler sitting out where people can see that it's out there. You don't want to leave, your hitch unlocked or your brakes unlocked, or
so it's easy opportunities.
Yeah, and you don't want to make it easy for anybody, but still, if they see a campsite over there, they've got to have the guts to walk up to that campsite and see if anybody's there, and then try to have the know-how of packing up a rooftop tent and packing up an awning that's got zippered walls on it and doing all that. And let me tell you, that takes time. If they want it that bad, hey, more power to you, bro. More power to
I also like the fact that, our trailer, we're typically the only one in our group that has a trailer with us. So inherently it becomes a community spot. It becomes a gathering spot. We work with a brewery, so we luckily enough we get to bring along quite a bit of beer with us on these trips. So we're visited often by friends.
Beer buys friendship, I promise you. It does every time.
Hey, well done, sir. But yeah, so I like that it's a community spot. I like that we can set up the awning. We can set up the awning walls. We can put a propane fire pit underneath our awning, and it's like 70 degrees in the winter. It's wonderful. So I like that it's it brings all our people together. Yeah.
I also like the idea that it gives you versatility in planning. When we had our vehicle, and everything was attached to the vehicle. So you've got a rooftop tent, you've got awning, you've got walls, you've got all your kitchen stuff. If you set your vehicle up like we did on the beach down in Texas one time, once you set up, you don't want to leave. You're not going anywhere. And we ran out of water, because that was our first time camping at the beach, and we almost always camp beside water, but this was salt water. And dumb me, I never thought about that. And Bruiser was hot. He drank all of our water. And so we actually had to get some people that were next to us. I paid them to go to the grocery store to bring us back a case of water. And so it gives you, I told my wife on the way home, we've got to have a trailer if we do this again, because I don't want to be stuck somewhere, and I don't want to have to depend on somebody else if we run out of something or if something happens. If one of us got hurt or wandered out and got stung by a jellyfish or bit by a shark, it would have taken me an hour just to be able to get my rig ready to go to take somebody to the hospital. And so it was one of those things where we had that discussion on the way home. A trailer would let us have that base camp where the vehicle is free. And it just gives you so much versatility in your planning and what you can do, as opposed to having everything attached to your vehicle.
Completely.
Now, I have done both kinds of trips. Last summer, my high school baseball coach actually hired me to pull his fishing boat out to Gunnison. And so I wasn't able to pull my trailer out there. And my wife flew into Denver. I had 7 days to make it from Gunnison to Denver. So I camped along the National Forest and made it up to Denver and picked her up. And then I had 7 more days that we could spend out in the National Forest. So we drove, set up camp, packed up camp, drove, set up camp, packed up camp, drove, set up camp, packed up camp. And, I like doing that sometimes, but there is a lot more pleasure to setting everything up once and being done with it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Big difference.
I'm the guy that's always pushing forward, like, hey, let's go see what's over there. Let's keep moving. And it's my wife that has to go, hey, we need to sit somewhere for a couple of days. I'm tired of this packing up camp, tearing down, setting up, tearing down, setting up. Yeah.
Well, and with kids, you've got to think about, how am I going to entertain these kids? So I do notice that y'all go on a lot of hikes. You do a lot of exploring. You do a lot of going to national parks and different things like that to entertain the kids. So setting up in one place, after a couple of days, your kids might like,
they're getting restless.
Man, we got to go. What are we doing?
Yeah.
We got to get out here.
Do the kids stay in the teardrop with you, or you slap them in their own tent outside?
Oh, I love this part. This is my favorite part.
So when I designed it, my youngest, he's 4, and so he's less than 57 inches wide. So the teardrop has it has our bed on the very bottom, but above the cooler, above the fridge in the front, there's a wedged area that he sleeps crossways. And then my girls are up top in the rooftop tent.
Nice.
And then the dogs, usually hook them, and they just like to lay underneath the trailer and sleep at night.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've actually got a picture of your setup here. This was that before? Here it is, right here. This is the way.
That was day one of the trip.
Day one of the trip. So you can see how the trailer works with the fridge on the front, the kitchen in the back, rooftop tent. It is an enclosed trailer, so you can get inside of it.
What's the weight rating on the roof of that thing?
Well, so there's 2, 4, 6 pieces of 1020 extrusion aluminum across there, and then it's aluminum plate bolted to the sides of the roof. So I've got the number somewhere on what the rating per bar, and then it's mounted on 4 of those. So it's definitely strong enough
So
to
overbuilt is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did some math and I was like, yeah, we're good on 4, So
Yeah.
Now, Jeremiah, you pull an X Venture, which is a lot different than Jeff's trailer. So it's not something that you, especially as humongous as you are, people that know you, you're not a small guy. You wouldn't want to crawl inside of a small trailer anyway. So you sleep on a rooftop tent, and your trailer is more of an open style.
It's a cargo hauling trailer.
Okay.
It's if you know anything about Shun Industries, they use huck bolt construction. There's no welds in the frame, so the frame actually has a little bit of flex inside of it. It's all aluminum. It's rhino lined head to toe. There's a 22-gallon water tank that sits, pancake water tank. You can see right there, sits right above the axle, which is rubber torsion axle.
Nice.
The trailer I actually pulled, this one you're looking at right now, is the one that X-Venture Overland or Expedition Overland pulled to Patagonia. So
nice.
It has some history on it. It's probably one of the more traveled trailers in the country, and there's no issues with the frame. There's no flex fatigue. It just keeps on going. The 10 on top, like you said, I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. That's a rugged bound penthouse XL tent. So that they've been in South Africa for a long time. So they're one of the original aluminum clamshells. That tent is 7'4". It's an enormous clamshell, and you can see how tall it is. So I can leave a body pillow, four regular pillows, a comforter, a bunch of blankets inside of that thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a beefy setup. We love the idea of expedition grade equipment. And Shun Industries, they make all the trailers for the military. You were talking earlier about the M111s or the old M series trailers. Well, that's what these guys did. The most DIY trailer out there is the old military trailers. And there's a reason, because 40, 50, 60, 70 years later, they're still kicking it down the road.
Yeah.
Solid.
They've come from leaf spring to rubber torsion a lot of the times, but they're still killing it. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely built like tanks. If you've never seen one in person, you can look those over with a fine-tooth comb and not see any flaws whatsoever. And you can tell they've been doing this a long stinking time.
Well, that frame is the same frame they use on their LTT trailers, the tactical trailers. That frame has been to the is it Aberdeen Proving Grounds or Anaheim Proving Grounds? I can't remember. In Virginia.
I feel like Anaheim sounds right.
I think it's Anaheim Proving Grounds. So there's millions of dollars in the R&D of that trailer's frame. They've got a 10-year warranty on that frame. That's pretty ridiculous.
That's pretty unheard of.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's unheard of.
And the teardrops have the luxury of having these big walls that go up for their extra framing. I mean, like I said, I saw it earlier. I was like, I'm in love with the more boxier teardrops. They look aggressive.
Yeah.
And you've got the perfect logo slapped on the side of that thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I wanted that whole thing to tie together. It's pretty strong looking.
Yeah, it's beefy.
Yeah,
that guy's sitting on 35. So.
Wow. That So Jeff, you have just recently, like I said earlier, that first trip that you did with your family last summer was your inaugural trip in the first trailer that you built, and now you've started to manufacture these trailers. Yep. And I know you've got like a sweatshop back there in your garage where you have 100 people putting these together, and you're probably putting out 20 a week. So,
of course,
is that how it's going?
Well, spinning things up always takes a little time, but I've got 2 more in process. The one you see there, the one I built last year, and we're moving forward. So
that's cool.
There'll be 4 out there before you know it, and I'm working on. I've got 2 other designs that I want to build out. One with a side kitchen, but this body style, like my first one, and another one that's a super shorty, which would remove the front tongue slide or the front storage box with the fridge slide in it, and actually only be 8 feet long, but still retain the same rear kitchen. And that way, I think we can get her down in the 1,200 pound range, hopefully, and lower that tongue weight also. but we're still only sitting at like 1630 with like 200 pounds of tongue weight. So
Cool.
I feel like it's a pretty good balance for as much as is there, you know.
How many inches of clearance is on that thing?
It's got close. I think it's 20.
Good
Goodness
Lord.
gracious.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Now,
Well,
Jeremiah and I, before the show, before you came on, Jeff, we're talking about axles and suspension. So what axle suspension do you use on yours?
Well, you know, I went back and forth. We you know, talked torsion, we talked timbering. We went leaf springs. We're Leafs, 3,500 pound, 10-inch electric brakes. Ended up going 2,500 pound leaf spring to keep the thing from beating the crap out of itself. Right? It tracks real nice down the road. Thing I like about it though is that if anything did happen while you're out on the trail, anywhere in the U.S., anywhere in the world, yes, and you could go to any whatever auto parts or tractor supply or whatever, and find you replacement parts. If a timbering or torsion, if a torsion fails, especially in that bar, you know, you're bolting that thing back down, trying to make it home, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and that's the way it was exactly explained to me. If a rubber torsion fails, the rubber at least stays inside so you can get back to somewhere. Yeah. But at least with, you know, you can it's 13 times more expensive for rubber torsion axle. If it fails, it stays inside. You can still get back. With the leaf spring, you can do a weld off of a battery if you needed to. I mean, it's all right there. Yeah. Beefy.
So Jeremiah, share. Did you write down all that stuff that you looked up on what trailers use? Which
switch
ones?
over real quick. The X-Venture runs rubber torsion axle. I looked up Turtleback. They're running. Sorry if I went dark quick. They're running the Icon adjustable independent trailing arm suspension, which is pretty unique to them because it's a straight up and down, I believe, suspension, and it looks beef. The Patriot campers, they're pretty pricey campers, so you can get an air or a coil option from them, and they have something called the innovative X Cruise independent suspension system, and it looks.
It sounds complicated.
It sounds complicated. But I do believe it's
like
adjustable.
A crossover.
I believe it's a crossover. So there are shocks, and you can with the shocks you can have a spring, or you can have the airbags from what it looks like on their website. And then another one go ahead.
I remember seeing on several of their videos because I had done quite of extensive research on the X3 when it came out because that looked like something that I just had to have, and it was so cool to me that there was a button on the side where you could level it. You could just push it and it'd go up, push it, it'd go down, or each side. So I'm sure that was. Man, have you priced a stinking brooder? Holy cow!
It self levels also.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it does for $130,000. It should.
Well, I think there is.
Cook me dinner too.
I think there's 4 types of trailers. There's the DIY, which range anything from going to grab a trailer from Home Depot and building it from there to the the old military reclaims. There's the cargo trailers like X-Venture, HEO, Highland Expedition Outfitters, those kind of guys. There's the more luxury like
Black Series.
Well, I would put those in the category as camper teardrop.
Yeah,
but I was thinking more of like the Patriot and the Turtlebacks because they're, you know, they only have one fridge that fits in that one spot they've designed. There's only a certain amount of cargo space for each area. It's not an open cargo system. And then the teardrops, and then those are the extremes, like the Brooder, the other
Conquerors,
the Conquerors, those guys. But between the teardrops and the homemade cargos are the only ones that can really take off grid. One for size, so your size alone. Your teardrop can go about damn near anywhere, probably further than your vehicle could go.
It's got more ground clearance.
My trailer has it's 20 inches of ground clearance. It can go further than mine can. So you're more limited by your Jeep than you are the trailer. Yeah.
So Jeff, tell me about what conveniences that you put into your trailer when you build them. Fridge, kitchen, storage, awnings. What what conveniences do you have? Because that's one of the things that really drew me to actually having a trailer was you get to have more conveniences of home because you don't have to pack everything inside the vehicle along with everything else. So as far as conveniences and comfort, what does your trailer give to you?
All right, so we'll start with the bed. You're going to sit, 4-inch memory foam, full, it's a double XL or a full XL bed, so you get 80 inches of length, 55 interior width. Then when you're laying in that bed with your hard walls while it's raining, and you're like, I'm hot, you crack your windows, nice little vents, there's screens at the bottom, 10-speed max air fan, right? So you're sitting there conveniently laying down comfortable and dry with your map light up here reading while it's charging your iPhone from the 50 amp hour lithium battery that's being charged by the solar when it wasn't raining. And then when you jump out underneath the awning to stare at nature, right? You can slide the fridge can fit a 35 to 45 liter multiple fridges into the drawer slide, 400-pound slides, all aluminum tray, brackets on it. So like we were talking about earlier, the fridge, you load that up a couple days in advance. You don't have to worry about a soggy peanut butter and jelly sandwich that fell down into the ice. It's just game changer. I mean, anybody that has a fridge will tell you that. They were, coolers are great. And I love cooler. And I love to have a cooler with drinks in the car and then keep the fridge going, keep stuff at the bottom, keep it frozen, work through it. Man, it's awesome. And then kitchen. Being able to have the kitchen too. Vertical or horizontal space, right? When you're camping is always a premium. So large flat top fenders on the trailer, kitchen space. In this one, in the last one I did side kitchen. In this model, stainless steel countertop, full length of the cross with slide out stove on a double slide to give you some of that more space. My wife loves to cook while we're out. So like giving her the cabinet storage space for everything in the kitchen was just one of those things that had to be done. So, it's not setting up a table, making sure it's level, setting everything on it, not having a drawer to put a knife in or whatever. You got everything right there. Well, you really love that aspect of, like we were talking about, base camp, bug out vehicle, if you will, and that flight prepping, mentality, right? Heck, I know that if the power goes out at our house, I can go put something in the fridge, in the garage, in the trailer,
Yeah.
And we're going to be good. Those are those home comforts, right? That having that extra trailer to pull with you, you've got all the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Jeremiah, what about yours? What comforts do you have?
Well, like I said earlier, the 22-gallon water tank that we have it's got a RV. I can't remember the type of pump, but it's the one that has just the pressure valve in it, so it's not loud. RV pump for the water. In the front box stores the instant propane water heater. So we have in that front box, we also have a battery system with the new Red Arc BC-DC 1225, which controls solar and DC to DC charging from the front. You can kind of see that big white cable stretching forward. We ran an independent line from the main battery back, which is a 6-gauge wire, so there's no line loss or overheating.
With that Anderson? Is that
yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then we also have the ZAMP solar panels up there, which we have 2 100-watt panels. And then when there's a shore power plug on there when we're home and around it, like you said, I just need my fridge full of beer and have it plugged in. So it's just always running, because a lot of times we have friends over just to hang out in the garage next to the trailer, and there's the beer. We work with Rugged Bound, so we have their Penthouse XL tent, which is just huge. And then their 270 awning, which is the original 270 awning out of South Africa. So this is, when you hear all these other companies say, oh, it's a game changer awning, the new game changer awning. Well, this has been the whole game for years. Theo from Rugged Bound is just starting importing these guys over the last year and a half. it's 120 square foot, and then you can put the wall kit on it. So each section of the wall kit is symmetrical, so you can put a door anywhere, you can put a window anywhere. It's just other than that, we run the Snowmaster fridge. We have to run the LP series, the low profile series, which is truck bed height because it has to be underneath 18 inches. So we run their LP series. The reason we run Snowmaster is like when I first got into Overlanding, I was looking up fridges because like, man, I really want a fridge because I hate we're dealing with the ice and like you said earlier, soggy stuff. And there was a guy in South America who had one on the back of his Toyota truck flatbed. It was covered completely in mud, looked like it was destroyed, and had been running in 120 degree heat for 5 years or so. He says, no issues. I was like, well, done. Other than that, like you said, we've got I think 2.5 inch or 3 inch memory foam mattress. I'd have to look it up to confirm. And the best investment, especially for the wife, is an Amazon like $20. They're heating pads for your seats, 12-volt heating pads about this big.
Yep.
And I steal it when she's not with me. And you just, if you put it on, if your center is warm, your core is warm, you're warm. And laying on that thing, man, I sleep better in that tent than I do at home with that heating pad underneath me.
After our trip last summer, I'll tell you what, we came home, we were like, we got to get a new bed. Like, we slept better in that teardrop over those 7 weeks than when we got home. We were like, what the heck is going on? Yeah. I sleep so good there. I'll tell you a trick though, not heating pad, electric wise. I read somewhere one time about just getting hot water bottles, right?
Yeah.
The old style floppy ones. My children love it. I heat up a hot water bottle for each of them, at night, throw it in the sleeping bag if it's a cold night, right?
Nice.
And they will sleep with those, and they have just been super happy and warm. And
cool.
The only other favorite toy of mine recently is that electric dirt bike, man. That's
incredible.
It's a blast. So we have we just put the Red Arc Red Vision system in the back, underneath the back seat of the Gladiator with a 100 amp hour battery, and off our inverter, we can charge that thing on the go, which is nice because we probably get, with my big self on it, like 30, 40 miles of just playing around town. So once we get a base camp, go out and play a little while and come back. It's fun.
Yeah. We've talked about getting some electric fat tire bicycles, because awesome. Man, when you can take stuff like that and just get away, and you're still out in the elements, you're still outside, and so you're not driving in the car. It gives you a whole nother avenue whereby you can enjoy where you are. So I think that's pretty cool. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I've got an old GoPed Bigfoot, with the
GoPed.
Yes. And I got to rework it to get her going again. But that's one I'm like, I want to take that thing because it folds up pretty small and put it with us when we go camping and be able to run around,
Yeah, I have to take the battery out of that thing. It's 110 pounds with the battery in it. So you can pull the battery, which is most of the stupid weight on that thing, and you can pick it up like a bicycle and just set it on a rack, which is nice.
Mount it on the rack,
yeah. But again, having the truck bed now, it's so nice because I used to have it on the back of the trailer. I'd have to pull it off the trailer to open the swing away door or put the awning out. I'm spoiled.
Well, I left my trailer completely open, and I use Pelican cases to store what I need to store in there. We take rugs and different things like that. But I keep my fridge in my vehicle, so I have it at all times. But I do have a dual battery system on the trailer. So if for some reason it starts pulling my battery down in my vehicle, I can hook it up to my trailer, and that way it can run off my trailer. So I have that option. I set up the rear of my trailer a lot like the turtlebacks. Buddy of mine bought a turtleback, took it to Rendezvous. I got to camp beside him. Got to see one in person for the very first time. And the way that the turtlebacks open up at the very back and everything folds down and the kitchen pulls out, I really love that setup. So I had them do a dual swing out door on mine with double fold down tables. And so I had a kitchen on the back. So I was able to do that. We're waiting on a rooftop tent for it right now. I actually took it back to the shop back in November and had them build me a platform because we were hauling kayaks and different things like that because I wanted it as versatile as possible. We're going to lose a little bit of that with the rooftop tent, but we'll still be able to haul it on a different vehicle. We do have the 270 awning with the walls.
Nice.
That for me is probably, as from my experience in camping, the 270 awning with the walls is the best thing ever for cold winter camping. It is unbelievable.
We're an open trailer, so you've seen that gap between and underneath.
Yeah.
We've acquired 2 extra wall kits from Theo to put on the inside. Have you noticed, since you have an open pretty much trailer as well for storage, have you noticed that you lose a lot of your heat from in there?
You do. You do.
Yeah.
I think putting
those kits on just to make sure we're fully enclosed. I like the teardrop because it is, once you have the awning out, you're pretty much enclosed.
You're done.
Full walls,
Yeah. I think when we get the rooftop tent and then we're able to put the annex on, that will enclose another side, and the only thing that we'll actually have open on ours will be the front.
Nice.
And so it'll be a lot better. But let me tell you, I camped with Kelly after he bought his turtleback, and we did a winter camp up above Birds up in the mountains, and we had a Dutch oven cooking competition up there. I think it was like December 27th, 28th, 29th. And it was snowing and sleeting. It was 15 degrees. And I walked inside of his area, and he had on shorts and a T-shirt. And he was cooking homemade chicken fried steaks. And I was like, this ain't even fair. I mean, we're out there just freezing ourselves to death. And he had a little propane heater going in there, or propane fire pit. And I mean, it was comfy. I mean, it was unbelievable. So that awning with the walls is just, oh my gosh, there's a luchador.
Yes. Nacho
I
Libre. See
what's going on.
Thanks for coming on, buddy. You're making an appearance. We're going to make
the one thing that I don't have is a galley. And so the next X Venture I get will have their new slide out galley, just because with their system, when you pull it out, a little switch activates and they're in some propane ready to go. So it's we are missing that aspect. We're lazy. So during the day, we try to find every out of the wall diner we can, every hole in the wall, the smallest place we can. But when we get to camp night, we're like, crap. So we typically rehydrate meals. Yeah, I said it, people. Don't you judge me. I know overlanding is more about food and beer as it is the travel. So
whatever makes you happy.
Whatever makes me easier to get to the beers first.
Exactly. If that's the whole reason you go to the woods, that's fine.
Use it. Yeah, if we had the galley, we would use it. So yeah.
So what, Jeremiah? What's actually in the enclosed part of your trailer? What do you keep in there on a normal trip?
Our chairs are fold out, our camp chairs. 1 or 2 propane tanks, to 20 pounders, because we run the propane fire pit, and you get about 2 good nights of hanging out. Two nights on one 20 pound tank. We have the couple Zarges cases, the big ones. So that's where I store the propane fire pit. I store my awning wall kit in there. All the extras for the back, food, and then just whatever random stuff we have else in there. Usually an electric chainsaw. The DeWalt electric chainsaw has been one of the coolest buys recently. It gets about 90. They say 90 cuts. You're looking at about 60 cuts, but even then, 60 good cuts from an electric chainsaw.
That's pretty good.
Done, and I can charge it off the battery system. Exactly.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Pull that other picture up. I can't. There's every different time. It's different. Even
have a side bolt-on countertop thing, or clip-on countertop. I swear I've seen that on the X Venture.
Go to there it is. So that the door that swings out has a fold-up table. And it's got a Truxedo roll top on it. So that it's a lockable weight-bearing roll top on that. It holds up to 400 pounds, so we can store stuff there if we do. I've never stored anything up there. But other than that, man, what do
you need?
We have quite a bit of room.
I'm okay. You go back in there.
Check on Dad. Make sure he's okay.
You can wear it if
said,
you want.
the step sides, the fender wells on the sides, we use those as tables too. I mean, it's and they're weight bearing, so I don't bring a ladder to get up into my tent. We just hop on the side and step on up.
That was one thing that was important to me in building teardrop I've done, like those are full 12 gauge welded fenders that are bolted into the body of the box, side steps, because you get these trailers that, you know, manufactured whatever, that it's like not a step. You're like, well, how am I gonna get up there? You know, like I need all of that flat space in it to be solid.
And we haul other things like our recovery, an extra recovery kit back there in case we need to be pulled backwards from the trailer, max tracks, a set of tracks for the trailer. And that takes a lot of the room, man. We find a way to fill it up.
Oh, I'm
my
sure.
suitcase typically goes back there, so the back of the Jeep is all her. That's her domain. I give it to her so she can do whatever she wants back there, store whatever she wants, because, you know, why do you need 16 suitcases for a trip? Okay.
Oh, my wife's listening to this. Oh, my God. I give my wife one wolf pack, and I say, okay, everything you take has got to fit in here. Whether we're gone for 2 nights or 20 nights, everything you take has to fit in here. And she says, you just don't understand how hard this is. You just don't understand. This is so hard. What? I just don't understand. Look, here she is. Yeah, she's on there. She's up there. So, you know, it's hard. It's harder for them. And, you know, we just got in some new toiletry rolls and some different things from Step 22 yesterday. What I'm really excited.
The fold-up toilet. Yes, the fold-up toilet.
Fold-up toilet. Oh, gotta have a toilet. And what about and this is something that the women really really need and they really talk about a lot, but it's rarely talked about anywhere because I guess it's a sensitive issue. But what do you do to give your females some privacy? Because they got to have that space. You know, when we take the iCamper, we've got the annex. She wants the annex put up because that's the privacy place. That's where she can get dressed or go use our little fold-out toilet or something like that. We also have a little pop-up thing that I absolutely hate because it's of the devil, and folding it back up or getting it whatever back up.
Honestly, it's getting comfortable pooping in the woods, and that's
true.
The whole thing. A trowel, a pack of wet wipes, just like disintegratable wet, and there were some really good organic ones made from like fiber. I am nervous for you, Jeremy. I watch you. Yeah. Thanks, Brian. So for us to get comfortable with that and say, you know, take a walk. You know, otherwise it's the little 3-leg fold out Amazon tent. We have the tent. We've used it once and left it at home because you can always take a walk further away from camp if you need to. So you know, and like I said, during the day we try to find little hole in the wall spots. Just being proficient about timing yourself. I know it ain't the easiest, but you know, trying.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, if you are going to go dig a hole in the woods, I hate seeing people's toilet paper. Dig a deep hole.
Dig
a hole
completely up.
If you
dig a hole.
Stay away from water.
Go dig a hole beforehand.
Exactly. Pre-dig your hole. That's you know,
pre-dig
you're coming back. And I mean, I go with the full. I've got I guess it's a knockoff beaver. You know, Crazy Beaver shovel. It's the same size, has the forks, has a whatever on the end. I call it my murder spork.
Yeah.
My son, I don't even think knew what a shovel was. He just calls it a murder spork.
One of my favorite hashtags is pooping in beautiful places.
Yes.
I love it.
Where you're pooping from and see, you know, share that.
Oh my gosh. So
pack out what you would pack out. Paper products if you can.
So last June, Michael and Lee invited me to go on their trip to the Enchanted Rockies Trail. And the last place that we camped was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. We actually found it by accident, and it was a beautiful open field. You could see it was on the edge of a mountain. You could see forever. And Michael, this idiot, went and set his poop chair right in the middle of the side of this field so he could sit there and watch and just look at everything. In fact, I think he did a podcast on his poop chair. And I'm like,
jealous. Don't be mad.
I was like, dude, you're just like ruining all the scenery for the rest of us. Go poop somewhere else. He just has no dignity, I guess, whatever. But
I'm sorry, I might do the same thing.
I know you would. I know you would. Now, I've recently acquired from Adam, who commented on here earlier, one of the fold out. It's a 23-0, the shower.
Quick pitch.
Yeah, it's like the quick pitch in suite. I think they all call them in suites.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be a complete game changer for us because they built it where all it does is fold out and it's got a little stand that goes down. We could pop that thing out in 30 seconds and we'll have it.
Is your wall kit rot proof?
Is my wall kit
Your
rot
wall kit
proof?
for your 270 awning? Can you not set up the shower underneath? Or your poop station underneath your. I know you have.
I think so. It's possible. Now we and if it needs to be under a cover, I'm sure we could put it under the cover. But they actually, it's an ingenious idea that I came up with. If I want to toot my own whistle, but they made it where it fits right on the front of the trailer, so it mounts right above the spare tire. It swings out, and then it can extend for 8 feet. So we can get it as far away from the trailer as it will allow, and then it has its own stand, and then we swing it out. So I can get it almost 10 feet from the trailer with it still attached to the trailer.
Yeah.
So
one really cool product that they of course have patented is the people are horrible. Yes, they are. Cindy.
That's correct.
Yes. What I saw is from the Patriot campers, their awning that mounts to the side. It's not a huge awning. It's probably, I think it's straight out. Is it a 180 or what is that? Whatever that is called.
180, but you get both sides, right?
No, this one's just straight out. But when you get there, you release 2 shocks and it raises up one side and comes up the other.
Seen that. It's amazing.
Comes up. Genius. So that's another great idea for that shower kit able to just swing away and go away. That's awesome.
Yeah. I've really looked at that, and they really should sell that to people because the way that all you have to do is just push up on it and it lifts up and locks. That's ingenious. It's ingenious because people do not build tall off-road trailers, and so that is a ingenious idea that they could market.
Well, if you saw my trailer at Moore, I have to duck to get underneath it. It's not a tall trailer. It's inherently you want to keep the center of gravity low.
Right.
So putting a 55-pound, 104-inch long awning 3 feet above your rooftop tent just to mount there, no, you have to. So you give and take with everything. The XV2, which is the larger version of the Xventure trailer, actually the whole top does move up. So you do have the extra clearance. It's on gas struts. The XV3, since it is a smaller trailer, they design everything perfectly, so its center of gravity is where it is. So it's a little bit lower. I'm 6'3". I have to duck just a little bit. But I still love it.
Yeah. When you guys plan your trips, do you think about pulling the trailer? Does it limit you where you can go?
No.
You have 2 completely different styles of trailers. So Jeff, you mentioned earlier you're not really supposed to pull it over a pass. So
mine's done the Alpine loop twice, or my old one did. And then one year I was going from Lake City to Silverton and actually got pulled over. I got a picture of it. I'll have to post up because my buddy was behind me. And this dude in a Wrangler came running up behind us on the trail with lights on. I'm like, what is going on? He's like, where are you going? I was like, Silverton, over engineer. He was like, not with that, you're not. I was like, what? And so that was one time it limited us, and now I've thought about routes in that case, right? Because we wanted to stay in Silverton a couple nights, then we wanted to stay over other side of Ouray, Lake City, other side of Silverton up to Ouray. And he made us turn around, and I had to go all the way up and around to Montrose, Ridgeway, Montrose, back down.
That's a long ways.
Killed my whole day, and by the time we got into town, we were fighting for a camp spot. So
I've come down a couple double tracks, and they're kind of slim. I've only had to, I think, disconnect. So you just disconnect the trailer, lock one trailer brake, flip it around, go turn around, come back and rehook. It's a 5 to 7 minute long ordeal. That's it, especially with these smaller trailers. So no, if you try to plan to avoid those type things, then you won't find anywhere badass out of the way. So no, I don't avoid trails. I just try. I plan for destinations. I don't plan for for how to get there.
Okay.
Of course, I'll predetermine my routes and at least a bypass if needed. But no, we shoot for destinations, not even trying to think, do I need to worry about if the trailer will make it there? Because if my truck will make it there, my trailer will make it there.
Yeah, Lee told us he went back with a group of Opus owners, and the Opuses are completely different than what the two of you have. So they're a lot bigger, a lot wider, a lot heavier. And they were going up from Great Sand Dunes north on the Enchanted Rockies Trail. And he got stopped by one of the forest rangers, I guess is what it was. And he didn't tell them that they couldn't, but he highly discouraged it because one of the guys had the full Opus, the big one that's already blowed up. And, he said, I wouldn't go up there if I were you. And Lee said, well, if you don't mind, we're going to try it. So they did, and they made it okay. But, they were dead set on this is the way we're going. And, if there's no law or rule against it, then we're just going to continue on. And, they ended up making it. Now, I know a lot of the out west, the trails out west are a lot wider than they are where I live. So if you get east of New Mexico, Colorado, if you get east of Kansas, you come into Arkansas, the trails get really narrow. And there's no possible way that you're pulling a full-size Opus trailer down the Ozarks. I mean, it just ain't happening.
If you take the Ozarks and then add that to the Appalachian Mountains, that's what you get over here.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure. Yeah.
Pencil-thin trails with trees, rocks, and mud, not wide open trails like the West has or the mountains.
Yeah.
Each presents its own challenges. But yeah, man, it's you have to get skinny real quick.
Yeah, I've had several conversations on social media with guys out west about what limb risers are. They don't have them out there. They don't know what they are, and they said take them off before you come out here because we'll make fun of you.
Do they have trees? I don't even know.
They don't have trees.
Okay.
When you get up high, there sure ain't no trees. Yeah. Well, and I tried to explain to the guy, in the wintertime it's not that bad, but when everything starts turning green, all the leaves start doing this. And they just lean over on you, and you got to get them out of the way so you can see where you're going. But I try not to limit myself where I want to go because that's part of it. That's part of the adventure part of it. Now, I don't want to get to where I have to turn around, because that is a pain. It is a pain, especially backtracking. But that's why researching where you're going and asking questions, putting it out there, and knowing as much about the route that you're going to go on before you go really helps, because you don't want to be an idiot. You want to be smart about it. Now, Jeremiah's looking at me like...
No, I was just going to say, you mentioned your bicycle earlier. Ride your bike on the trail if you're not too sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've walked some spots before, pulling the trailer going, I'm going to walk this real quick, just to make sure we're solid.
If you're not in a national park or anywhere near you can't fly a drone, pop a drone up. Yeah. I've scouted a ton of trail by just popping the drone up and taking it down a little ways.
That's a good idea.
Just make sure you know where you're flying legally or illegally.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we've talked pretty much about the trailers that we have. We've talked about different things. Now, one of the things, and we're getting kind of toward the end of the show here, but one of the things that I do notice on overlanding trailers as far as a difference is tires. Now, would you, as guys who have pulled overlanding trailers through the woods, to grandmother's house we go, wherever, off-road tires or all-terrain tires, street tires, does it make a difference?
I match.
I've always had an all-terrain tire. Yeah.
I match my tires.
Yep.
From the front.
Yeah, and I've heard that too. Is that a big deal to you to have the same size wheel and tire on your trailer as it is on your vehicle, so that way you've got that many more spares if you need it? I know a lot of people who do that.
This summer, my wife's runner, my Tacoma, both have matching full-size spares, matching wheels, and then the trailer has the same lug pattern and same size tires on the wheels. Same size wheels too. You know,
that's got to be a peace of mind. It's got to be a peace of mind, especially on a long trip.
Two things. One, if you have a catastrophic blowout, you have more than one spare. You can leave the trailer. No one's going to steal it without a tire on it. Two, as of right now, until I get a relocation or a swing away or a mount in the back of my truck bed, my tire's underneath my truck bed. If I get sunk in a hole and I've got a flat tire, I'm not going to get to that tire. I'm going to take at least take the trailer tire off until I can get it out of the hole and switch them out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, I have a Jeep, so it's a 5x5, and it's just, they all match. The only crap part is every time I go to switch out, buy new tires, I have to buy 7.
Wow.
Yes. But, you know, you take care of your tires, rotate regularly. I ordered all-terrains, Falcon all-terrains, and they shipped mud terrains. And I love them. I thought I was like, crap.
Yeah.
I wanted to get away from it. But I live on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I live in Mudville. So everything is always soaking wet. Kentucky's considered a rainforest. We get more rain than St. Louis does. Or San Diego, sorry. I mean, it's always soupy, always muddy, always raining here. So, yeah.
Yeah. I run the Falcon MTs on mine, too. Now, mine's not a daily driver because of my career. I actually have a work vehicle, so mine sits in the driveway pretty much Monday through Friday. But the MTs have worn great. I've been so impressed with them. I've had other all-terrains that have gotten slices and cuts in them, and these do so well, and I really love them. So I run mud tires on my trailer as well. I think
thicker sidewall and everything too. So
they're just built better. They're built better. And so if you're thinking about what kind of tire to put on your trailer, think about how well that the tires are built, all terrains or mud terrains compared to street tires. It's not even comparable.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
plus, if you match your wheels. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You have the floor.
If you match your wheels, right? So I don't care.
I still have the old Steelies. The last Jeep I had, I ran Steelies because you bend a Steely, you bend it back out. You damage brain fart. A mag wheel,
aluminum
wheel. You're not bending that back out with a hammer. So I still run Steelies on my truck, or my trailer, but it would at least get me out of somewhere if I needed to.
Yeah. Well, I made the decision to buy the wheels on my FJ because I walked into a 4-wheel parts and I was like, oh man, those are so cool. I got to have those. So I bought them. And the week after I bought them, they discontinued them and you can't find them anywhere. And so it's impossible for me to find any wheels to match my trailer on my vehicle. And it really ticks me off. And so XD wheels, I'm coming for you. I'm just telling you right now. You have pissed the professor off, and he's coming. But anyway, hey, guys, we're reached about the end of our show. Jeremiah, tell everybody where they can find you, social media, website, and all that good stuff.
Everything at Overland Pioneers. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, all those crazy stinking things that you have to be on when you're a marketing business. But anything Overland Pioneers, you can find us.
That's awesome. Jeff, tell us where we can find you.
BadAckAdventureCo.com, Badack Adventure Co. on Facebook, Instagram. You can get me on all those 3. I'm not as deep into it as Jeremiah, but I got a few of them.
Be glad.
Be glad. He's busy. He looks like he lives in his mother's basement, but that sucker right there is a busy man. He's a busy man. Hey, and I just want to give a shout out to Beth, to Northology. I saw where they went and picked up a 4-wheel drive van, and they were so excited. Apparently, they're broke down in North Carolina.
She camped out in my backyard.
Thank y'all for listening. I hope y'all get whatever's fixed on it, and you're able to hit the road. Some good friends out there that put out a great magazine. You need to check it out.
She camped in my backyard on the way down to get that thing, and then she's supposed to be back tonight. Yeah, her and her hubby
didn't work out.
Broke down, but it's still, man. That's the Quigley van. That is an awesome 4-wheel drive.
Awesome. Yeah, I think they're really going to enjoy that. Really do. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you being here with me. Enjoyed it so much talking about trailers with you guys. I know that you'll be able to see these guys wherever you go, because they are everywhere. If you go to More Expo, are y'all gonna anyway, Jeremiah? You're gonna be able to come out to the event in May.
No, I'm going to be playing around on the golf during that time. The Gulf of Mexico. Trying to
I
find
don't blame you. I
beach
don't blame
spots.
you a bit. I don't blame you a bit. Well, I'll be there. I bet Jeff will be there. That's right in his backyard.
I think we're going to try to be there. Yeah, get a
that's
booth.
awesome. We'll be at the Big Iron Overland Rally in May. So check that out at bigironoverlandrally.com. And it's filling up fast. I've heard that the camping spots are already sold out, and it's only been like a week and a half since he announced it. So make sure and get your tickets. They just released the bands today. It's going to be a huge party. It's going to be awesome. So make sure that you look at that, sign up for it. Thank you for joining us on the Professor and Friends show. Make sure and leave it better than you found it. Hope you have a great week. Thank you, guys.
See ya.